people. What's up? What's up? It's a new week. It's a new opportunity for us to dive in and make some things happen. And so I'm Coach Ricardo Miller, and I want to challenge you, man. I want to challenge you. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. You are responsible. You are responsible for how you show up in the world. Okay, you are responsible for how you show up in the world. So this morning we're going to dive into a couple of things. But if you're watching us on Facebook, do me a favor and share this live. I want somebody to watch this. Megs, what's up? Good morning. Good morning. What's going on, Miss Cynthia? Good morning. I so appreciate you guys for popping in. Listen, this morning we're going to dive into the subject. Man, how will you be remembered? Boy, that's a topic. That is a topic for us to look at. And so if you haven't shared this live already, please do me a favor and share. Somebody needs this. Somebody needs it. And it's going to be the difference maker in somebody's life today because you shared it. And so thank you, Megs, for sharing. And thank you, all of you guys. Thank you for sharing because you know what? It's another form of evangelism. Okay, it's another form of evangelism. So the question is, how will I be remembered? Now, this week, you have an opportunity to show up. You have an opportunity to show up. Now, what are you going to do with the days you've been given? Okay, what are you going to do with the days you've been given? Now, all of us have been given today. How will you use today to glorify God? Okay, how will you use today to glorify God? So thank you so much, Megs, for sharing. Thank you, everybody who will share this and tag somebody because I want us to start thinking like this. Okay, you can't live effectively if you're not willing to ask the difficult questions. Let me say it again. You can't live effectively if you're not willing to ask the difficult questions. They're a question that has to be asked. Now, your life will improve for the better when you commit to asking yourself the questions that needs to be asked and you're willing to dive in to getting the answers. It's not just asking the question, it's being willing to look into the answers. And so here's a couple of things. As an effective living ambassador, it is essential to reflect on your legacy. What am I building? What am I building? Megs, there are some people, listen, man, before they're put into the ground, they're forgotten. And here's the deal. It's not our responsibility to carry a legacy on for somebody. It is our responsibility to ensure that we leave a legacy. Okay, it is our responsibility to leave a legacy. There are some people who just haven't done it. And I'm telling you, what I found is these are difficult conversations, and there are a lot of people who want to avoid these talks. But I found that people who really want the best out of life, they're not afraid to look into the difficult topics. So Jamal, as you get up today, you want to remind yourself, I'm not average. Okay, I don't want to just fit in. I want to live my life in a way that I'm getting better with age, and I'm establishing in the earth a mark that won't be erased very easily. Even if it is erased, it won't be erased very easily. The world will know that I've been here. Let me say it again. The world will know that I've been here. It's so unfortunate. I've met people who have acquired property. I've met people who have established businesses. I've met people who literally went ahead, got a degree. They've gotten some good money, and then they died. And people don't even know where their properties are. So the properties got lost. They had money, and then they didn't write a will, and the family started fighting over the money. They had a house that nobody knew how to value like they valued it, and the house fell apart. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Y'all help me out. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. So the house fell apart. The assets were lost that the person acquired while they were alive. And when we start thinking, okay, how will I be remembered? Okay? The hard work that I'm putting in today, what is it for? That's a good question. Somebody put that in the comment section for me. The hard work that I am doing today, what am I doing it for? When it's all said and done, how will I be remembered? Will I be remembered? I wrote this on my Facebook page early last week, and I said, listen, write your obituary and then start living your life backward. In other words, you identify now, if you came from an environment where I was raised, they don't talk about that. While death is inevitable, people say, don't talk about death. Jamal, you can't be afraid to talk about death. It's going to happen. Okay? Max, you can't be afraid to talk about death. It's going to happen. One day I'm going to die. Oh, Miller, man, I don't like how you talk. Man, I'm talking in a way to ensure that, hey, I don't have my head stuck in the sand ignoring what needs to be looked into because it's just life. It's life. And I'm free and I like who I am and I like who I'm becoming because I'm not afraid to deal with the difficult subjects. There are some people who are in denial. There are some people who are just outright running from the truth. I don't want you to be one of those people. So thank you for showing up this morning. Please tag somebody. Please share this because others need to look into this. For those of you on YouTube, you got a family group. Put it in the family group. Put it in the family group and say, how will you be remembered? Are you thinking about how you will be remembered? Well, I don't care about how I'll be remembered. I'm gone. What a way to live. Here's 3 things I want you to take away. Number 1, we have to live with purpose. Purposeful living is the best way of living. Let me say it again. Purposeful living is the best way of living. Align your actions with your value and your mission. Purpose-driven living ensures that you aim towards your contribution being meaningful and lasting. Number 1, live with a purpose. I'm here to pass on a legacy. I'm here to establish a work in the earth to serve humanity. I'm here to make sure that God is glorified. I'm here to maximize my potential. You want to live with purpose. The distinguished quote that Miles Monroe left us was, where purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable. Well, there are a lot of people who don't care about what they do today, what they do this year, or what they do with their life because they haven't identified their purpose. Why am I here? Why am I here? Just like getting a PhD, come on, just like earning a PhD demands work, discovering and maximizing your potential also demands work. In other words, you're not going to live purposefully without having to put in some work. So to be purposeful when it comes to your faith, you're going to have to put in some work. To be purposeful when it comes to family, when it comes to finances, when it comes to your health and fitness, when it comes to enjoying life, you're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to put in the work. So Jocelyn, you want to remind yourself, I'm purposefully living. I'm not living recklessly. I'm not living by chance. My goal in life no longer aligns itself with me keeping my fingers crossed, hoping that life works itself out. No, I have a strategy. Okay? I have a vision. I have a plan. Come on. How many of you can say that with confidence? I have a vision. I see myself 10 years down the road. Okay? I see, watch this, I see a strategy to get me to 10 years down the road beyond where I am right now. So don't be shocked when you see upgrade. Don't be shocked when you see growth. Don't be shocked when you see changes. I have a vision. Okay? Now watch this. After you've identified that you have a vision, then watch this. I have a strategy. I have a strategy. This is what I see. This is what I'm going to have to do to get to where I see. Come on. So this is what I see. And this is how I see I'm going to get there. I have a strategy. You need to have a strategy to get that 850 credit score. You have to have a strategy to make sure that you take care of your health to the best of your ability so you can live a long, progressive life. You have to have a strategy to make sure you're not in a world with over 8 billion people on the planet and you're claiming you don't have any friends. Listen, guys, you have to have a vision. You have to have a strategy, okay? Now, when you decide to live purposeful, your purpose is attached to your vision. Your vision and your strategy goes hand in hand. There will be no accomplishment of your vision if you don't have a strategy. And if you don't have vision and you don't have a strategy, you won't get up every day living on purpose. In other words, I don't have time to waste. I'm trying to go somewhere. How many of y'all can say that with confidence? I don't have time to waste. Okay? I don't have time to waste. I don't have money to waste. I don't have, come on, man. I don't have people who come into my life that doesn't have value, because I need everybody who comes into my life. I need all of us to have value. I need us to be adding value to each other. Okay? So number one, live with purpose. Number two, cultivate relationships. Cultivate relationships. The connection you build and nature will speak volume about your character and influence to others. When we talk about how will we be remembered, the question is how many people you've developed a relationship with, how much of an impact you have made in the earth that somebody would say, you know what? I'll never forget Ricardo Miller. I'll never forget Jocelyn Charles. I will never forget Jamal Curry. Have you lived in a way where you've cultivated relationships? Megs, you cultivated relationships where people will come from overseas to figure out how to get to that place to honor you. In other words, oh man, I have to go to his funeral. I have to go to his honorary day. I have to, because you've made a commitment to cultivate relationship. There are a lot of people who are trying to create something amazing in the earth, and they are neglecting this whole concept of the value of people. So number one, live with purpose. Number two, cultivate relationships. I teach this, and I think it's a strong statement, but I think it's a true statement. If you are choosing to live life and do it without people in it, you're doing it wrong. Let me say it again. If you're choosing to live life and do it without people, you're doing life wrong. Let me remind you of this. Human beings are social creatures. We do better together. Now, there are some people who aren't good for you, and then there are some people who are good for you. And it is your responsibility while you're in the earth to identify, to learn, to discern who's good for me and who's not good for me. But don't dismiss people in general. Be cautious, be mindful, be very aware of people who says, I don't have any friends or I don't trust people. Those two common statements speak to a person who is going to be very limited. Boy, that's good stuff right there. Let me say it again. Those two statements speaks to the fact that anybody who says these two things, they're going to be very limited. I don't trust people and I don't have any friends. Very limited person. Even if they become a manager, they'll be a limited manager. Even if they become an entrepreneur, they'll be a limited entrepreneur. Even if they join social network groups and community organizations, listen, you need people. You need people. So we are stronger together. We are stronger together. Now you have to learn how to identify who's good for you and who's not good for you. Okay? I love the late Dr. Miles Monroe. He was good for me. I love the late Dr. Apostle Raymond Wells. He is good for me. Okay? I mean, this man, listen, every time I get around him, I feel better. You know, I grow. Dominic Antonino, he is good for me. I mean, listen, good people. Okay? Keno McCartney, good for me. Very necessary. Okay? My beautiful and incredible wife. I'm not saying it because she's my wife, because sometimes we with people who ain't good for her. But listen, my wife, Karen Miller, she is good for me. Okay? And when I say good for me, when I talk about these people being good for me, I'm talking about good for me in regards to my purpose, in regards for me maximizing my potential, in regards to me becoming who I'm created to be. These people are good for me in regards to me living in peace, living in alignment with God's will for my life. These people are good for me. You got to know who's good for you. But I won't do a talk today on who's bad for me because I've identified there are some people who are bad for me. You know, people who are bad for you, people who say, boy, listen, hey, you know what you got, you don't know what you're going to get. Don't risk it. Don't risk. You can't live life to the fullest without taking risks. Okay? Well, why are you trying to go and grow so much? I had somebody told me, and they were not good for me. Somebody said to me, how much is enough, Ricardo? Haven't you acquired enough? Jesus Christ, what are you talking about? You've acquired enough. Somebody literally said that to me. So I'm here today to tell you, you have the number one purpose. You have to live on purpose. When you show up every day, you have to choose to have a plan to function within your day, your week, your month. Your life will be stuck if you're not living on purpose. Number two, you have to cultivate relationships. Everybody is not for you, and everybody is not against you. You have to identify who wants me to move forward and who's trying to keep me stuck. Okay? And last but not least, you have to create value. You have to create value. How will you be remembered? The question has to be answered. No, so number three, create value. Am I creating value? Or am I just somebody that can be easily replaced? Am I somebody who can be easily replaced? A lot of people don't realize you have to literally ask yourself, have I done the work in the earth where I'll be missed? Come on. Have I done the work in the earth that I will be remembered? Have I done the work in my time being a part of the organization, being a part of the community, being a part of the tribe, being a part of the group? Have I done the work to distinguish myself? Have I created value in here? Or was I just another person who existed? And I was a minion, and I was just a French fry. I just was, bottom of the list. Or did I do the work to become the person that God would look down at and says, "Watch this"? All of us, when I talk about creating value, you want to live a life in a way that God looks down and says, "There goes my beloved son. There goes my beloved daughter, in whom I'm well pleased." Wherever you show up, you want to add value. Let me say that again. You are unstoppable when you're a person who adds value everywhere you show up. You will be in demand when you show up and add value everywhere you show up. Okay? Be the kind of person that people can know without a shadow of a doubt. You didn't just come in the room to fit in, you came in the room to show out. You are letting your light shine so God can be glorified. You are not average, you are the exception. You are cut above the rest. You are okay being better. And when I say better, better in the sense of you want to make things better, and most people don't want to make things better. You're okay standing out. You're okay sitting in front. You're okay declaring, if it could be better, let's make it better. So I want to add value. Remember this, your legacy is your story. Your legacy is your story. Make sure it is one worth telling. Okay? Make sure it's one worth telling. So write this down as we close this out. My legacy is my story. Come on. My legacy is my story. How will your story be read? How will your story be told? God bless you guys. Have a phenomenal day. Please note, I'm praying for you. I want to challenge you. Go ahead and maximize your potential. so God could be glorified. How will you be remembered? That's something you got to think about. How will you be remembered? Whew, your legacy is your story. Make sure it is worth telling. God bless you. Bye bye.